Hello, this is Marcus Giuliano from Aroma Thyme Bistro. Today I want to talk to you about brandies, and we have a great brandy selection here at Aroma Thyme. Now, Cognac and Armagnac are indeed brandies, and basically a brandy is a distilled spirit made from Ungui Blanc grapes that typically from France, but it can be made all over the world. So it's not, if it's not made in the region of Cognac or the region of Armagnac, outside of those regions they have to by law call it brandy. But all Cognacs and all Armagnacs are brandy, just to break that down. Here's a couple of my favorite. Now at Aroma Thyme we don't typically have the big brands like Hennessy or Cavassier or Remy Martin. We steer away from those. And we have a few neat ones. Here's one of my favorite non-Cognac and Armagnacs. This is Germain Robin. This is from California, north of San Francisco. It's actually north of Napa. And they've been making stuff for, I think, 20, 30 years, Germain Robin. Some awesome, awesome brandies here. Really a talented distiller. This is their Shareholders Reserve. Phenomenal stuff. They have a VS, they have a VSOP, they have an XO, they have some single barrel stuff too that they make out of Viognier grapes, and I believe Pinot Noir grapes. So Shareholders, Germain Robin for American brandy or outside of Cognac. This stuff is awesome, awesome, awesome. This is it. Now, when you talk about Cognac and Armagnac, Cognac has like 5 million cases imported every year. Armagnac barely has 150,000 cases. So Armagnac's a much smaller, more hands-on, more family-owned place or region. Cognac is really the big explosive place where all the big brands are and the mass distribution is, which is, you know, the mass distribution is really what we try to stay away from. That's where the Remy and the Hennessy and that kind of stuff comes in. Now, we have just as many Armagnacs here in Aroma Thyme as, actually we have more Armagnacs than we have Cognacs. Because even though the fact of the ratio is 5 million cases of Cognac come in to the US versus 150,000 cases of Armagnac, we do have some great Armagnacs here. Clay's Dukes is an Armagnac that's very, very popular. One of my most popular ones, Celt. The Saint Aubin is not here. I'm actually out of that right now. Here's another one. Here's another one, the Montal. So we have some really neat Armagnacs. So if you want to try something different, definitely look for an Armagnac, because you're going to have a small, like I said, much smaller production. Usually smaller family-run businesses or smaller distilleries. This is not blown up yet. But on the Cognac side, here's the part that I'm so excited about. I'm totally sold on this particular Cognac. And this Cognac is Celt. Celt is a distiller out of Cognac, France. And we have a couple of theirs. We have their VSOP and I have their XO. And now Celt does something really interesting. 100 years ago, or maybe even longer than 100 years ago, what spirit companies would do is they would take their barrels, their oak barrels, and send them to the New World, being America, so maybe this was 200 years ago, and they would take the oak barrels once they got to America and then bottle them here in America. But once the corporations got a hold of the branding and the advertising, they wanted the bottle to get shipped to America now, or to its final destination in the properly labeled bottle with the companies, all the companies advertising on the bottle, the label. Well, Celt says, you know, something's missing here. Something's missing drastically. The allure of the ocean has been lost because now everything's bottled at the distillery and then shipped across the ocean. So what Celt does is they have what they call a tour du monde, tour of the world, and they take their Cognac while they're in all the oak barrels, put them on a ship and send it around the ocean. And they send it around the ocean for a period of months, maybe 3 months, 6 months. I'm not sure the exact. I used to know. I used to be up on all this.
It's in the oak barrel.
It's in the actual oak barrel, and it's going on the ocean throughout. You know, it goes to like 21 different ports of call. So it gets, you know, it goes through the Panama Canal, goes around southern Africa, goes into Asia, and it makes its way back to the distillery months after its original journey. Now, what do you think is happening to this oak, or to the Cognac, while it's in the oak barrels on the ocean? It's rubbing against all the oak inside the barrel. It's washing the oak. It's getting more of the flavor out. It's complexing. It's making it more mellower, more drinkable. But the neat thing about the oak, you know, oak is permeable. And when you're shipping around the ocean, you have all this different pressures and atmosphere of the pressure of the ocean. That with that combination and with it constantly hitting oak, that's the allure of the ocean that Celt was talking about. That they were actually saying we've lost the allure of the ocean. Well, now they're putting it back into the bottle. So they ship this thing around the world, this bottle. They send it back into their distillery in Cognac, France, and from there, they put it in the bottle and ship it to its final destination. So they're actually reversing what has been done, you know, in the bottling and shipping industry in spirits. And this has been a wonderful advancement in spirits. And when you think about it, it's not really an advancement, it's how it used to be done. You know, I always like to say to people, you know, what's the most advanced answering machine you can have nowadays? The most advanced answering machine is actually picking up the phone and saying hello with a real person. So going back into tradition sometimes was the best way, as we're finding out. The allure of the ocean really comes through on here. We used to have Hennessy, we used to have Remy, we used to have the big brands. We even had Cavassier for a little while. This would outsell the other ones by at least 20 to 1, hands down. If you'd come to the restaurant and we had a chance to tell you the story at the table, I told you about it, you were totally hooked on Celt. There was never another cognac for you. So this was the interesting part. So after about 4 or 5 years of stocking the other brands, I decided just to get rid of them all for good, not even look back. We've never, ever, ever, ever had anybody complain or be disappointed that they haven't had their favorite cognac in after they've discovered this here at Aroma Thyme. So this has been a neat thing. And this is like the thing with a lot of things in our bar, you know, whether it's absinthe. One of my favorite absinthes is from California, which is part of the Germain Robin people. They're very well affiliated out there. So one of the really good things about our bars, you know, we have like the allure of the ocean is in here. Our bar is like this whole allure of like small independent producers that are handpicked from around the country, the United States, and from around the world for things that just stand out and do things like this, that have a story. We have Italy's oldest producer of anisette here. You know, we have the Sambuca that the Italians drink, not the Sambuca that's packaged in New Jersey that's shipped over, you know, that the Italians don't even know about. So throughout the whole bar, we handpick a bunch of different things. So today I just want to talk about cognac or brandies in general, because you know, a lot of people love brandy. They love to sip on it after dinner and a nice snifter and relax. So this is just a quick brandy education. So remember, again, all cognacs and armagnacs are brandies. If they're produced outside those two regions, by law they have to be called brandy. If they're in those two regions, then they are called thus Armagnac and cognac. So stop by Aroma Thyme Bistro, get on our website, aromathymebistro.com. Take a look at our spirit list, come into the bar. The same amount of single malt scotches we have, a lot of those, a lot of small American-produced bourbons as well. Really exciting on that stuff. Stay tuned for all those kind of videos too. aromathymebistro.com, certified green in the Hudson Valley. We'll see you soon.